Hello everyone, today I want to share with you a project that I have been planning for a while. A newly set up reptile room dedicated to Borneo. In specific, based on the habitat of Lanthanotus borneensis. Today I will share the setups, plants and animals that will be found in this new space. So this year the focus of my builds and videos has been mostly on the Chinese animals. And lots has been done and of course still lots to do. But in the meantime I have been planning this small room. I wanted to see how far I could take it when it comes to focusing on a certain animal and the habitat they are from. And I wanted a space where I could tinker and that represented a bit more animal diversity. In the basis, the setup of this room is very similar to the China room. I matched the color scheme and soon all will be attached to the same pressurized air system. I am using my tried and trusted racks with the terrariums I already had. I did have to change out some parts due to the mold damage and therefore there's some color difference. But other than that, this room is in many ways a contrast to the China room, even though both hold animals that are found close to or in streams. In the China room, everyone is in normal tap water where the pH is quite high and there's a lot of minerals. In this Borneo room, all is osmosis with maybe a bit of tap water mixed in. Most of the water here also holds way more organics and tannins. I use the same lights, but with the plant cover, different UV intensity and screen, the light is much more dapple. And the ceiling light is also a bit warmer color to represent a bit more filtered light you will get on the bottom of a forest floor. And whilst in summer the temperatures are quite similar, the China room has a nighttime temperature drop, more obvious seasons and the animals will endure a hibernation, whilst this Borneo room will have a very constant light cycle, less difference between the day and night temperature and no hibernation. Meaning I have a nice place to tinker, whilst the biggest part of my collection is in hibernation. Because it is a small room in a well insulated house, just by having the lights run, not ventilate as much as the China room and heating the water, the temperature and humidity is maintained. Of course I do ventilate, I have an air purifier running and use a ventilator to pull air from the back of the rack, which does make this room a bit loud. The window is always slightly opened and I have a strong window screen to prevent anything coming in or out when this window is open, and there's a strip along the door frame. Why this is important will be explained a bit later in the video. To prevent any issues when winter comes, I would like to make the whole climate control a whole lot more controlled and smart, but I am glad the animals are set. As I mentioned, the Lanthanotus are the main focus of this room. I have a few and they are wonderful creatures. I was thinking about a very big show terrarium and cohabitate them with other creatures, but due to them potentially predating a lot, me needing to find eggs and their territorial nature, I thought it would be smarter to have a space with setups that allowed me to slowly expand the selection of plants and animals, whilst I figure out what would work and not. For years I kept Boras brigitae, the chilirus boras, with my Lanthanotus with great success, and that's why I took the chance to set up these small aquariums I had standing in storage, so the fish would be well as I was moving stuff around. It also gave me an opportunity to have a space to potentially quarantine or keep more Bornean fish that can be found in and around the same habitat as the Lanthanotus. A while back I added these tenga, a surface-dwelling egg-laying half-beak species. I have a group of 7 and found that they can be quite territorial towards the same species. So I'm trying to find what are working pairs so I can separate them. And I really like these fish and they do much better as I expected. Next to fruit flies, they will also eat mosquito larvae and even small granules without issues. also got the ice spot Rosboras, which were not a great match. They were way too hectic during feeding and I felt they were way too active in comparison to the Bororas, so those are moved to one of the Lanthanotus terrariums. For the third aquarium, I'm thinking to use this as a startup for immersed plants. And I still have space for a fourth aquarium, which I figured was a great reason to maybe look into some croaking gourami or betta species. Yeah, let me know what you would do. The invertebrate selection is still small. Apparently Cubaris murina can also be found in Borneo, so I started 2 groups of them. And I have this dead leaf mantis, which lived in my plant terrarium for a long time, but now lives in the Lanthanotus terrarium, and actually it has been doing very well in here for months now. What also has been doing well enough since December is this Gonocephalus doriae. I believe I have not shown this animal on the channel yet. This is a wild caught animal that I got from another keeper. Honestly, I got her a bit to see how it will do, because success with wild caught gametes is limited. I keep her quite simple. I had much more decor, but made it a bit more simple now I know what thickness of branches she likes. It seems she likes to have an overview of the room, as in this new configuration her colors are much more similar to what I've seen in pictures of animals in the wild. Man, these are cool. I knew about them for a long time, but this is actually the first time seeing the Bornean variant in real life, and I really liked it. These animals are called cat geckos because they can retract their nails and they roll up their tail when they're sleeping, looking a little bit like a cat. Next to the fact that this is a cool species, I chose this one because it fits well in the climate I have in this room. They are a candidate for possible cohabitation with other species. They are interesting to breed and I can give them what they need. These geckos are sensitive to too much minerals in their diet and water. If they receive too much minerals, they can actually get kidney and bladder stones. So me using only osmosis water is perfect for this species. For now, this male goes into quarantine whilst we await the female. And it is time to open the other box, which meant I needed to dust off some snake hooks. I've been without snakes for some years until I got the borneensis, but now the turtle project has found its groove, I can provide the attention and resources needed for other animals. And the long-time viewer knows I have a fondness for Asian pit vipers. And these Bornean subannulatus are one of the best looking snakes. Their adult face, the colors, absolutely amazing. I think this species fits super well. It is visible in the terrarium, so I have something to look at. I can make a great terrarium for it, and I have experience with the genus and their needs. There are almost no captive born specimens of this species. Therefore, this is also a wild caught animal, which of course gets us into a bit of an ethical and moral dilemma. She has been with another keeper for more than a year now, but still it is a risk for the animal itself due to stress and of course your own collection to get a wild caught animal like this. So for now, she will live in a simple quarantine setup. This way I can observe her well, make sure everything is okay, make sure she drinks enough. She already had her first meal and hopefully I can get some fecal matter to check, but that can take a long time with this species. I think I want to keep her in this terrarium, which is currently my plant refuge. That means of course the plants need to move and therefore I needed to make some subtle adjustments to some other terrariums. And once I figured out where all the plants are gonna be, I can start decorating and make sure everything is settled in for the new animals to move in. And although some minor adjustments are still needed, I am very happy with the space and the potential it has for the next year, in which I will try out some cohabs, plant care and dream about upgrades. Please let me know your thoughts on this room, and if you had a space like this, what species would you add?